Aisha is the first one out, boots crunching gravel, GoPro strapped to her chest, backpack full of gear. Behind her, her younger sister Zara steps down carefully, eyes already scanning the shadows. Jamal kills the engine, climbs out, stretches his tall frame, and stares up at the looming Victorian mansion they've been chasing for months. Damn! Look at this architecture, Jamal says, voice low with that mix of awe and nerves. They call it the Horror Palace. Locals swear the walls drink blood. Tonight we're gonna prove it's all just stories. Aisha checks her phone. Still not feeling right about this. The old-timers in town said shadows move here even at noon. And look, 0 bars. If something goes wrong, we can't call a soul. Zara tugs her sister's sleeve. Sis, please. Can we just turn around? The air here feels wrong. Like something's whispering right in my ear. You don't feel that. Aisha laughs it off. Zara, that's your overactive imagination talking again. We drove 6 hours for one night. By morning, we'll have a national award-winning documentary in the can. I got you. I'm right here. She walks up and shoves the gate. The chains scream like metal teeth grinding. The sound makes all 3 of them flinch. Inside the grand hall, the air is 10 degrees colder. A sweeping marble staircase curves upward into darkness. Shattered chandelier crystals glitter across the floor like broken teeth. A shadow detaches from the corner behind the stairs. An old woman steps forward holding a dead lantern, eyes locked on them like she's been waiting 100 years. What are you children looking for? Her voice is dry leaves scraping stone. Only dust and silence left in this place. The house doesn't like its picture taken. Those who try to trap the shadows inside it become the shadows. Aisha forces a smile.
Mom, I'm Aisha.
This is my sister Zara and our friend Jamal. We're filmmakers. We just want a few hours to shoot. The old woman cuts her off. You walked in. Whether you walk out is no longer your choice. Stay out of the upstairs rooms. He's sleeping up there. She turns and melts back into the dark before they can ask another question. Later that night, the 3 of them set up in the enormous mahogany dining room. Jamal cleans the lens of his main camera. Aisha reviews her notes by candlelight. Zara sits by the tall window, watching fog crawl up the glass like fingers. Aisha hits record on her voice memo. Scene 4, Shot 1. We're inside the Crimson Manor. Locals call it Blood Manor. Temperature dropped the second we crossed the threshold. No birds. No insects. The silence is so thick I can hear my own heartbeat. Zara's voice cracks. Sis, look at the painting over the fireplace. It's a massive 19th century portrait of a wealthy American family. Father in a stiff collar, mother in black silk, 3 children. Every child's face has been viciously scratched out with something sharp. Only the mother's face remains untouched, and her painted eyes seem to follow Zara's every move. Probably some vandal or the damp got to it. Aisha says, trying to sound casual. It's just an old painting. Let's not freak ourselves out. But the decision is made, they need upstairs footage. The hallway on the second floor is lined with closed doors. Their footsteps make the old floorboards groan. At the very end stands one door painted a deep, wet-looking red, like dried blood that never quite dried. It looks brand new compared to everything else. Jamal lifts the camera. Rolling. The second Aisha's fingers touch the brass handle. An ice-cold wind whips down the hallway even though every window is shut. Their breath fogs in front of their faces. Zara whispers, Sis, something's coming out from under the door. A thick black liquid oozes from the crack, crawling upward against gravity, spreading across the wood like veins. From inside the room comes the slow, steady sound of fingernails dragging across stone. They run. The main entrance door is now locked from the inside. They yank, kick, slam their shoulders against it. Nothing. They sprint to the kitchen. The back door won't budge either, as if it's been welded shut by something that doesn't obey normal laws. Aisha's voice is tight. We'll break a window. Jamal grabs the heaviest cast iron skillet and swings it with everything he has. The pan bounces off the glass with a dull thunk and clatters to the floor. Not a single crack. We're trapped. Zara says, voice trembling. They start shouting for the old woman. Granny! Granny! Where are you? We need to leave. From the dark pantry comes a child's giggle, high, playful, and completely wrong. Hide and seek? Whoever gets caught is mine forever. They bolt back to the dining room, hearts hammering. Jamal rips open the camera playback. The footage from the hallway shows the three of them walking. And right behind Zara, only inches from her neck, a tall, twisted silhouette with a face that looks melted and wrong. Jamal's voice cracks. It was right behind us the whole time. Every candle in the room snuffs out at once. Zara trips over something on the floor. They pull back the heavy rug and find a trapdoor with faint light leaking up from below. Desperate, they climb down the narrow, moss-slick stairs into a basement that smells of wet earth and old blood. Shelves line the walls, hundreds of small clay dolls staring out with blank button eyes. Each one has a name and a year scratched into its chest. Victor, 1992. Sophia, 2004. Marcus, 2017. In the center of the room, on a little stool, sit three unfinished dolls. The clothes stitched onto them match exactly what Aisha, Zara, and Jamal are wearing right now. Zara's voice breaks. She's not crazy. She's a monster hunting us. The heavy trapdoor above them slams shut with a sound like a coffin lid. The old woman's voice echoes from every wall at once. People come here by choice. They leave by the house's choice. This house is hungry. It needs fresh stories. Your memories, your fears, they all belong to me now. Thick black smoke pours in. They choke, claw at their throats, and everything goes dark. Aisha wakes up on cold stone in the red door room. Zara and Jamal lie unconscious beside her. The only thing in the room is a tall mirror framed entirely in human bones. She staggers to it. The reflection staring back is not her face. It's the old woman's wrinkled, hollow-eyed face wearing Aisha's clothes. No, what is happening? Zara's eyes snap open, pure white, no pupils. She stands up like a puppet on invisible strings. Sis, why are you scared? We'll stay together forever now. Inside the walls. Zara smiles with too many teeth and vanishes into thin air. Aisha shakes Jamal awake. They run. The red door opens easily this time, but every hallway loops them back to the same dining room. The front door opens only to spit them right back inside again. Zara's ghostly voice drifts through the air. There's no world left outside. There's only the house. They barricade themselves in a side room. On a table lies a leather register. Aisha flips to the last page. Their names are written there in fresh ink. Aisha's voice, Jamal's sight, Zara's soul. Next to each name is a date, tomorrow's date, and the words, eternity. Jamal reaches to turn the page. His fingers dissolve into smoke before he touches the paper. Aisha, my hands.
I'm disappearing.
He fades away right in front of her, still trying to scream. Aisha collapses, sobbing, regretting every choice that brought them here. When she finally forces herself up and stumbles into the hallway, the old woman is standing at the top of the grand staircase, watching her. I died years ago, the old woman says softly, but the house is a memory, and memories never die. My time is finished. Now you take my place. Morning light creeps through the windows. An old rocking chair by the front window moves slowly back and forth. Sitting in it is Aisha. Her skin hangs loose and wrinkled. Deep lines cut across her face. Her eyes are cloudy. She wears the same torn black dress the old woman wore the night before. Outside, tires crunch on gravel. A shiny new SUV pulls up. 3 young people spill out. 2 guys and a girl, loaded with drones, thermal cameras, and excitement. Yo, this is the spot, Blood Manor. They say anyone who goes in never comes out. Let's get that viral video, fam. Old Aisha rises slowly, walks to the front door, and opens it. A single tear slips down her ruined cheek, but her face stays perfectly calm. In the foggy distance, near the old oak tree, she sees 3 faint silhouettes watching. Zara and Jamal, waiting for the new arrivals the way they once waited for her. The 3 young explorers reach the porch, grinning. Old Aisha smiles with empty eyes, and says in a voice that is no longer hers, "Come inside, children. The house has been waiting for you." If this story sent chills down your spine, drop a like right now, subscribe to Eerie Narratives, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next nightmare. Comment below. Would you step inside Blood Manor for one night? See you in the next shadow. If you dare, stay eerie, stay safe. Eerie Narratives. In the endless cornfields of rural Kansas, where the backroads crack like old bones and night falls like a shroud, lies the forgotten town of Elmwood Hollow. Folks around here say the silence after sunset isn't natural. It's hungry. For the last 3 weeks, people have been disappearing one by one.
No footprints.
No blood. Just a perfect black scorch mark on the ground where they stood, like something reached up from below and burned them straight out of existence. The locals bolt their doors at dusk now. They whisper that whatever's out there already knows your name. And tonight, it's waiting for one man to come home. Ethan Harlan had traded Elmwood Hollow for the skyscrapers of Chicago years ago. Bright lights, loud streets, no ghosts. But when his father dropped dead from a heart attack, the lawyers called. The family farmhouse and the old land deeds needed signing. Papers that had been sitting in the Cole family safe for generations. It was supposed to be one quick trip. In sign out. Dusk was bleeding across the sky when the beat-up yellow cab rolled down the 2-lane highway. Fog hugged the cornstalks like breath on a mirror. The driver, an old local with hands like cracked leather, hadn't spoken much the whole ride from the Greyhound station. Ethan tried to lighten the mood. "Quiet out here at night, huh? Place hasn't changed a bit." The driver's eyes flicked to the rear view. "One piece of advice, son. Whatever you do, don't go outside after dark. Not in Elmwood Hollow." The road stretched on forever, swallowed by mist. Ethan stared out the window. Between the rows of corn, shadows moved, tall, unnatural shapes that slipped behind the stalks when he tried to focus. Tree branches scraped the roof like fingernails. The wind carried faint whispers that almost sounded like his name. "Should have stayed in the city," Ethan muttered. The cab finally groaned to a stop in the empty town square.
No streetlights.
No open stores. No people. Even the dogs on the porches had stopped barking. They just stared, eyes glowing in the fog. Ethan paid the driver. The man gave him one last grim nod and peeled away into the mist without another word. The old Harlan farmhouse waited at the end of the cracked dirt lane. Peeling white paint, sagging porch, windows like dead eyes. As Ethan pushed open the rusted gate, a figure stepped out from the shadows of the side yard. Maggie Thorne, his best friend from childhood. She looked exhausted, skin pale, eyes sunken like she hadn't slept in weeks. "Ethan? After all these years. What the hell are you doing back here?" He gave her a tired smile and explained the papers, the house, the land. Then he asked the question hanging in the air. "Why is this town so damn quiet?" Maggie's voice dropped to a whisper. "Every single night someone vanishes. No sound. No fight. Come morning, there's just that black mark on the ground. Like they were burned from the inside out. We don't go out after dark anymore, Ethan. Not ever." Ethan chuckled, trying to shake it off. "Come on, Maggie. Small town ghost stories. You guys are scaring yourselves half to death over nothing." But her eyes didn't laugh. "Laugh all you want. Just don't be the next one." That night, Ethan sat alone in the old living room. Fog pressing against the windows like it wanted in. Shadows flickered across the glass, human-shaped, but wrong. Sometimes the wind carried voices calling his name from the cornfield. Sometimes the walls creaked with footsteps that weren't his. He told himself it was just the house settling. He tried to sleep. The next morning, he walked the empty streets. Every door was already shut tight even though the sun was up. Curtains twitched as he passed, but no one waved. The town square was a graveyard of silence. Even the dogs watched him like they knew something he didn't. That's when he spotted Reverend Caldwell, the old town pastor, face carved deep with age and secrets. The man had buried half the people in Elmwood Hollow. "Ethan Harlan," the Reverend said, voice low and heavy. "What in God's name are you doing back on that land?" "Family papers," Why does everyone look at me like I'm already dead? The Reverend's eyes hardened. Because that land is cursed. And the curse started with your grandfather. Ethan waited. Your grandpa tore down the old stone chapel that stood right on your family plot back in '68. Folks thought it was just an abandoned church. But it wasn't. That chapel housed the guardian. A spirit that had protected this town for over 200 years from something far older and far worse. When your grandfather bulldozed it to plant more corn, he trapped that spirit inside the earth. Now it rises every night, dragging souls down so it can finally break free and walk this world again. Ethan felt ice crawl up his spine. You're telling me my own family started this? The Reverend only nodded. And it won't stop until it gets what it wants. Stay inside tonight, son. But Ethan couldn't let it go. All day the whispers followed him. All night the shadows clawed at his windows. By morning he'd made up his mind. He was going to the ruins. Maggie grabbed his arm when she heard. Ethan, don't. People who go out there don't come back. Reverend Caldwell blocked the door. That place is death. Turn around while you still can. I need to see it for myself, Ethan said, voice steady even though his hands weren't. If my family broke this town, then I'm fixing it. Night had swallowed Elmwood Hollow whole when Ethan's truck bounced down the overgrown path to the old chapel ruins. Cornstalks scraped the doors like reaching hands. Fog was so thick he could barely see 10 feet ahead. The ruins appeared in the headlights. Charred stone foundations, broken crosses half buried in the dirt, and in the center, an old rusted lantern lying on its side. Ethan killed the engine. The silence was deafening. He stepped out, flashlight shaking in his grip. He picked up the lantern, struck a match and lit it. The flame caught. The ground trembled. A low moan rose from the earth, growing into hundreds of whispering voices. Wind whipped through the corn like a scream. Footsteps crunched behind him. Maggie stepped into the lantern light. But it wasn't Maggie anymore. Her eyes burned with an unholy fire. Her face twisted into something ancient and starving. The friendly smile he remembered was gone, replaced by a grin that showed too many teeth. You really thought you could just come home and fix it? She hissed, voice layered like a dozen people speaking at once. I've been wearing this skin for years, Ethan, taking them one by one, building my strength, waiting for the last piece of the bloodline that locked me away, to walk right back into my arms. Ethan stumbled backward. Maggie, what the hell? I was never Maggie, the thing snarled. Your grandfather's bulldozer trapped me. Every soul I took brought me closer to breaking free. And now the last Harlan is here. Once I drag you down, the curse shatters. I walk free, and this town becomes mine. Smoke poured from the ground, thick and black, coiled around Ethan's legs like chains. He screamed, but the sound was swallowed by the fog. The lantern flickered once, then went dark. By morning, the rumors spread like wildfire through Elmwood Hollow. Another black scorch mark on the chapel ruins. Ethan Harlan was gone just like the others. The fog grew thicker that week. Doors stayed bolted even during the day. People stopped answering knocks after sunset. And sometimes, if you walked past the Harlan farmhouse, you could see a woman standing on the porch, smiling the same hungry smile, watching the cornfields like a hunter waiting for the next deer. They say the guardian is almost free now. And in places like Elmwood Hollow, some curses don't just linger. They evolve. If the story sent a chill down your spine, you're already part of the family. Hit subscribe to Eerie Narratives right now and turn on the bell, because the next nightmare is already waiting in the dark. Drop a comment. What cursed small town should we visit next? And remember, lock your doors tonight, because out there something already knows your name.